Hey, 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 what's going on, family? Welcome to Purpose Talks with, I gotta accept it now, the podcast whisperer. A major shout out to Behold Hidden Bridges and the Collective 706 for creating this space for like minded creatives like yourselves to grow as we bridge the gap between our voice and our audience. And I want you to know that whether you're using your voice or not, you're saying something. Purpose is always talking, whether we want it to or not. So today we are talking about the what. So I shared last week, I like to talk about the three dubs. So if you're ever in a podcasting coaching session with me, or you've ever attended one of the workshops, I like to talk about the three dubs. And the three dubs are the who, the what, and the why. And last week we talked about who, and we had to get real solid on who we are, right? What are we always talking about? What makes us laugh? What makes us cry? All of the things that pertains, to us and who we are. Because when we're going out and we're working in our business, or we're starting a new business, or anything that requires us to be out in front of other people, we got to be solid on who we are, because people are going to question us, right? There are going to be other people who are doing similar things like ourselves, and we might get discouraged, right? We know comparison is a threat to joy, right? Comparison can kill our joy. And so you have to be super solid on who you are. And even in the opposite direction, right? We can grow to a certain level of success, right? A certain level of success that we've never experienced ever in our life, right? Especially when you get a whole lot of money. Things, access to certain resources will cause us to question our values and our morals. And so it's even the more important to be solid on who you are. So last week, again, we talked about the who, but this week we're focusing on the what. All right. This week we are focusing on what. And so that looks like, and I have a couple questions. If you have your notebook or a little sticky note and a pen or a piece of paper, a pencil, go ahead and get that out. Or you can use your notes app on your phone, whichever you can do, whichever makes you comfortable. But I have a couple questions. So I want to know, what topics interest you? What are the topics or the things that you can talk about over and over and over anytime? And we talked a little bit about that last week when it pertains to our who. And I want you to see how the who and the what are connected. And even next week when we talk about the why, how they're all connected, because they're all a part of us. When we're going to set out to do anything in business, we should be connected to our business, right? I would never, well, let me not say never, but there's nothing in me at this current moment that would cause me to want to start a McDonald's or a food business for that matter. I like food, but there's nothing in me that desires to really, I can cook too, but I don't want to sell plates. I don't want to start a business with food. Now, I probably would. I wouldn't mind owning a Chick-fil-A. I wouldn't mind owning a Chick-fil-A, but a McDonald's is not my thing. I don't even eat there. If you ever hear me talk about McDonald's, it's probably not in the most positive manner. And there's no shade to anybody who likes McDonald's. But think about those things, right? So if I'm executing in a manner of something that I'm not really a fan of, but it could be a great opportunity, it's good to know, right? The who about ourselves and the what. What interests me? What are the things that I can talk about over and over and over? And again, this is the purpose talk. And so, another question: what problems do you solve for your clients? And I know the solutionist knows all about this. And if you missed her room earlier this week, I encourage you to catch the replay, she is here in the building, well, in the room on the Clubhouse platform every Tuesday at 11. So you definitely don't want to miss all of the things that the solutionist is sharing with us, especially as it pertains to marketing, right? But I want to know, what problems do you solve for your clients? What sets you apart from others in your industry? Because that's important to know as well. So especially when it comes down to comparison. Just because somebody else is out there doing something that you're doing, that doesn't mean that you're not necessary, that you're not needed. But it's very, very important that we do the work and we take the time to sit down and say, okay, what sets me apart from others in my industry? That's why we went through last week the who, right? The who and who we are, where are we from? Because sometimes being from the South can cause some other people from the South to want to work with us. It doesn't close us in, doesn't mean that someone from another region in the US wouldn't want to work with us, but sometimes that relatability, that understanding, that especially, and I'm gonna tap on Kanitra, when we talk about hospitality, anytime I think about hospitality, I think about the South. And I think about how, people always relate Southern hospitality, Southern hospitality. You just think of that when you think of hospitality, you think of the South. And sometimes that could be the difference in someone wanting to work with you and hire you. So it's good to be confident in where you're from. And one thing I love about Tabitha Brown is she's cool with who she is and where she's from. She's from Eden, North Carolina. It's a very, very small town. Very, very small town. And she's always representing where she's from, right? She's always like, no, this is who I am. And it took her a minute to get solid and throughout her career. And no, I have this accent and I'm going to be who I am. And people are drawn to that. So that's why it's important. And I asked, hey, y'all, who are you? Where you from? Jamaica told us she's from Thompson, baby. And that all plays a part of who she is and why she serves the way she serves and why she does the things that she does, right? So again, use that and think about those things, right? And what sets you apart from others in your industry. And then the last question, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? I'll take a minute to check out the chat. What's going on, family? Monica said, oh, that's easy. Figuring out how something works and how to apply it to other things. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Confidently, can you just say confidently distinguish? Mm-hmm. Because said, cut your girl. Ain't nothing wrong with it, honey. All right. And Kanisha, thank you for adding the questions in the chat. I appreciate that. All right. So, again, let's go through the questions real quick. What topics interest you? What are the things that you could talk about for hours? And you can talk about them for hours and hours and hours. All right. What are the things or the topics that you could talk about for a long time? Regardless of how unrelated they are to what you are doing currently, still write those things down. Because I love to see how God just so strategically over time intertwines all of those things that interest us. The things that interest us, God is interested in those things. He's interested in seeing us use each and every expression that He's placed inside of us. And so it's good to say, yeah, I love tea parties, but how in the world, what does that have to do with purpose right now, Angel? What does that have to do with launching a podcast? Well, who's to say I won't launch this big tea party thing for podcasters, right? Who specifically also love tea parties, right? Who's to say that we won't utilize, let's say, okay, I'm just pulling now. Let's say Monica loves playing pool. She loves playing pool. Who's to say she won't plan this big pool shark competition and because of her love for pull and pull, and then figure out a way to merge it with marketing and strategy and things of that nature. Who's to say like anything is possible? I think when we just allow ourselves to get again solid on who we are, solid on what it is that makes us unique, right? Solid on what sets us apart, right? That's how we find our people, and our people find us. When we're willing to be all that we are, then we encourage others to be that. And because they see us living and doing the thing that's unique to us and true to us, then they say, oh, I want to work with Kenitra. I want to work with Jamaica. I want to buy all of the things that Jamaica has, because if having those things helps me to be inspired, helps me to live confidently and live for God and do the things that I believe He's called me to do. Yes, I want the bag. Yeah, I want the notebook. Yeah, I want the cut. I want all of the things that she has, right? If working with Monica legit brings the solutions, that's who I want to work with. Every time, every person who's ever worked with her, like, they experience the growth or the return of their investment that they're looking for, because she has the solution, right? And if she don't know it yet, I believe she could find it out. Why? Because she's the solutionist. Huh? Come on, somebody. So that is why we have to know who we are, what we do, and what sets us apart. So anybody want to share anything as it pertains to the topics that interest them? Anybody want to share what sets them apart from others in their industry? Or what do you want to be known for? Anybody?
Hey, so I'll go first. Excellent, Angel. Excellent, the podcast whisperer. I appreciate your delivery so much and going through those lines of questions, because it's just right in alignment with where I am, and even doing the brand of being a hospitality coach. It was so funny because when you said what you said about Southern hospitality, it reminded me that when I first was taking my business serious as a LLC, I was doing a consultation, and the young lady said to me that you're really known for like hospitality and being a Southern belle. And I didn't catch it back then. So the fact that I am where I am now, hilarious. But what I am most passionate about and could legitimately talk about for hours, kingdom stuff and church stuff. And bridging the gap between kingdom and church. And I don't want to say people in the world, I want to say between the people who feel lost or not seen by the church or the kingdom. There is a humongous gap there. And there's so many reasons why people who have experienced church, notice I ain't saying kingdom, I'm saying experienced church, are dissatisfied and don't want to be engaged or involved with it. Whether it was a one-time experience or that whether they've been in church for years and still have, certain experiences that deter them. I want to coach people who are in leadership positions and roles and responsible for creating spaces and atmospheres on how to adequately do it, so that they create a hospitality that heals, create an experience that heals, because that's what our responsibility is. And everybody has a different role, and everybody has a different gift when it comes to gifts of the Spirit. So hospitality is one of those, helps is one of those, but it's, well, hospitality and helps, yeah, is a specific gift. So I really, really can talk about that all day long, with the intention and the purpose of helping people to create atmospheres that heal on purpose, because folks don't know how to do that. They know how to get up more so and get on a microphone or say or speak something. But I read something today and then I'll yield. In my continuing education for my nursing license, I just read something about human trafficking and how the healthcare professionals or whoever is working with the person who is a victim in this scenario has to have trauma informed training. And I feel like I'm like a trauma informed hospitality coach for people who've been in church but they want to introduce the kingdom. So much new information is being processed and language being given to what I'm passionate about doing. But thank you for that question, because I can talk about church stuff and kingdom stuff and what we need to fix all day long. I like fixing broken stuff too, because I'm a solutionist too. Amen. But that's Monica all day. I yield.
That's so good. That is so good. Bridging the gap between kingdom and the church. That's beautiful. And I like how you said not necessarily the world, but broken people, because there's so many broken people in the church who've left the church, want to be a part of the church, but they don't, that's a whole thing. And if as long as God is glorified, right, and he's lifted up, he will draw the people, right? He will draw the lost and those in. But there's a lot of healing that has to take place. That's right. And there's a lot. Yep. Yep. I'm not even going to go in on that. But yeah, thank you for that. I'm so glad that you are graced for that specifically. You see how I did that? Anybody else want to talk about or share what topics interest them, or what do they want to be known for?
Hello, I'll go. I actually took the day off for me. So we are working, but on our stuff. So, what I could talk hours about. So, I really love talking about the effects of your environment or upbringing or just mindset generally, how it contours or how it develops you as a person, and then how it shows up in other areas of your life. And I just always think it's an interesting perspective, depending on, again, and that's probably why that's the first thing I went to when you asked the last time, because it's automatically like the first thing that comes to my mind in mid conversation. That a lot of times people are not graced to understand that when people speak, or their delivery or perspective most of the time comes from something that has happened to them, something they are in, or some type of interaction or encounter that caused them to begin to think or see that way. So I'm thankful for that, because it helps you interact with certain clients, it helps you interact with people, it helps you understand young people. I love young people. To remember me for is consistently delivering phenomenal products. Like, I don't want anyone to ever be like, oh, something was sloppy, something was half done, something was poorly put together. Most people that follow the brand, they know that the products are bold, they know that they speak, they're used, they come with slang, sometimes a lot of stuff that you're gonna hear in our culture. And I think that's why my love for words, like, I'm a word fanatic. I love dictionary, thesauruses, synonyms. I love words. And I believe that's why God allows what sets me apart. I believe in the niche that I'm in, because there are, if some pay attention, there's a big niche right now for and things of that nature. So I really have to hone in on, that's where the spirit of God comes in, because everybody's doing, a lot of people are doing journals, but they may not be faith-based, and all of them are not faith-based, because I know I'm called to marketplace. But just the affirmations, that's going to bring it in. No matter you believe or not a believer, everybody needs to be encouraged. Everybody wants to feel better about themselves. Everybody wants to have somebody pat them on the back, or something in their environment that reminds them of their why. So I believe that's where my passion for words is going to be more intricate, as far as setting me apart, because when you pitch it, they'll feel it, or when they see it, it'll resonate. Or when, just the delivery of why you need this in your life is gonna speak to somebody. So I believe I attack each area. So I'll yield the mic.
Well, all right now. Come on. That is so good. Constantly producing or putting out phenomenal products. and essentially serving your community in a way that resonates with your love, your passion for words, and the unique desire for for products that speak not to just to believers, but those even outside of the faith. Things that we all need. I loved it. I was thinking there were, because I'm a frequent, not anymore. I've worked on honing in, but I was known to start different things, and so I was looking into a while ago, just doing like journals for things on selling on Amazon, and there are a lot of quite a, not a lot, but there are a few faith-based like journals on Amazon, but you can tell that they're not created by believers. They were created by some people who just looked up some data, and they looked up data and to like what was popular, what was trending. And I think they saw faith journal and journals put together. And they said, well, let me do that. Something that we think looks faith, right? And there's such a space for you, Jamaica, for sure, where like you're gonna put out something that's of quality, like you said, consistently putting out phenomenal quality products. There's such a space for you because there's some stuff out there that say faith, that look faith on the cover, but it has no substance on the inside. It's just paper, and then they put a cross on the outside of the cover. No shade to anybody that wants to do that. However, it's what there could be so much more. And I am an avid journal buyer. I got a whole bunch of them. Let me say that I had a bunch of journals, and because every time I would go to the store and I see a cute one in Ross or something, I'm buying them. But I said last year I had to stop and fill up all the ones that I had, and then I'm gonna buy some more. So 2023 is my year to buy, and I'll be buying from you, Jamaica, because the stuff you see out here now is of no substance. They just slap the cover on there to make it seem faith based, maybe with a scripture on the front, and say, "Hey, here you go." And yeah, I buy it because that's what I see. But the more I see products from you, the more I'll see what you have out there, and we put it out there. The more people can see. No, I want something of more quality. But if I just see an oversaturated market of basic quote unquote faith-based journals because that's what it's titled on Amazon, that's all I'm gonna buy. And so this helps me kind of go into my second point. So we went through our questions of the what, and we're gonna run through this next part somewhat kind of fast. And I want to know, how will we share more of our what with others this year? How will we share more of our what with others? So we went through the what, right? The things that interest us, right? The problems that we solve for our clients, the things that set us apart, the what do we want to be known for? How can more of that this year? And shout out to Lanika Michelle who done jumped in. Shout out to Devin and Lakeisha. Hey, family. But I want to know, how will we share more of our what this year? And what are some of the ways that we're doing that already? Right now, we're all on Clubhouse. This is one of the ways that again, shout out to Behold Hidden Bridges and the Collective 706. Thank you for the push. Thank you for inviting me to utilize this platform to share more of my what with others, right? But I want to know from you guys, how will you share more of your what this year? How will the places where typically these quote unquote fake faith journals where they hiding it, how are we going to share more of Jamaica's journals, right? With more quality, have more quality and more sustenance with them. How do we share more of that this year? How will we share more of the things that Kanitra loves? Or Lanika, I got a question, boo. How do you plan to share more of your what with others this year? And I've seen you going live this week. I've seen you going live all this week, honey. All right. So, what are some of the strategies that we're already using? And we got the solutionist, Monica Michelle, in the building. And I want to know, what are some of the strategies that we're utilizing already to share our what with others, whether that be on Clubhouse, podcasting, come on, somebody, YouTube, or even attending more live events. Maybe you plan to look for more speaking engagements to get in front of other people. What are some of the strategies or ways that you plan to share your what with others this year? Or maybe you, like me, I need to be looking for some more tea parties to attend, huh? If I love tea parties, maybe that's where I need to be. Anybody want to share their strategies for 2023 or how they're currently sharing their work?
Well, I can speak for myself. This is Monica Michelle, the solutionist marketer here. And one thing that I've been moving to a space of is being more intentional. So I don't know if you've ever heard the little proverb, the cobbler's kids have no shoes. And so a cobbler is a shoemaker, and they're so busy making sure everybody else's shoes have been made and fixed or whatever that the cobbler doesn't take the time to make sure his kids' shoes are good. And that's something that I have been guilty of, taking care of everybody else and not giving enough attention to my own stuff. And so being more intentional with it and being more direct and not being afraid. This is something I was literally just talking to a client with this morning, of repeating yourself. So, when you're making the post, and if I give the post that has all the good to do's, yes, the people who saw that one post, then yes, y'all saw it. That was beautiful. But I need to repeat it and say it again. Not repeat it where it looks exactly the same, word for word, with the same exact image, because that gets lost in the sauce, right? But it has to be repeated, but in a different way, because everyone doesn't learn the same. Everyone doesn't accept information the same. Everyone doesn't realize it the same. So the client that I was speaking with this morning, she has a testimony from, no, she just did a case study, a closeout report with her client. And so I said, this right here, don't post one post giving the testimony. And I'm giving an example of how I plan to repeat myself. Don't post one post of showing the testimony, but post this one post to show the testimony. Then go and chop that up and make it to a carousel. And in the carousel, you want to talk about the person's goals. Then the next slide is going to be the person's struggles and problems that they were having while they couldn't reach the goals. The third slide is going to be about what you did with them. The fourth slide is going to be about the wins, how they got over to the other side. So now you're telling a story and people are able to see themselves in it. And then, of course, you have that last post about share like. So that's one post in itself. Then there's another post with just a testimony. There's another post that's a video of you talking about the experience and how you do a closeout report. And then there's another post that talks about, okay, this is the problem that a lot of my clients are having. And you talk about the issues that that client was having. Then there's another post that talks specifically about the things that you did with them to get them over the hump. So that one testimony, that one case study, you've talked about it 5 to 6 different posts to breathe life into it. Because some people don't want to see the numbers. Some people don't care about that. Some people want to see a video of you talking about some people. So you're able to, and then even if I do want to see it in one way, if you show it to me in multiple ways, it speaks to me and I can say, oh, she the real deal. Because there's the 7 points of connections. Back in the day, it was 7 points. If I see something 7 times, then it's a part of my makeup. It's a part of, oh, this is a legit thing. Well, now because of COVID and all the other things and attention spans of people, people need more touches. So in addition to, so that I can remember you. So in addition to people learn and receive information differently, I have to also take into account that people need the repetitiveness of it so that they can remember me and I can cut through the noise versus the other marketer that's up the street, the other solutionist. So this year, my intention is to be my desire, my solution is to be intentional and to be repetitive, because I want you to see me as the obvious marketer, the obvious choice. I want you to understand and see that I am the obvious solutionist that you know. Thank you.
And we can close out on that right there. Thank you for dropping, first of all the gems. Thank you for being open and transparent and how for real it is in your business. We can show up for our clients and go above and beyond for them. And then our business is kind of like, hello, we're just here. I see you out there being great, but we want to do other things too. How can we continue to work for you in the background while you work and do the things for your clients and serve them? How can the business is like, how can we continue to serve while you serve? And I love that. And that is why we have to check you out on Tuesdays at 11 with Monica Michelle, the solutionist. Okay. Whew, I just want
Angel,
to
can I
kind of
say one more thing?
go ahead, honey.
I want to add one more thing because this is purpose talks, and something that I am finding to be real and legitimate in my experience and some of our experiences, that when we really start tapping into our purpose, God starts sending our partners. I did a live yesterday on my regular Kenitra page, just sharing what was on my heart. And one of my sisters I grew up with jumped on and caught the tail end of it. We ended up getting on the phone talking for 2 hours. And she literally was talking about what I just talked about. I could talk about all day long. But guess what she wants to do? She wants to shadow me for event planning. I don't know who I was talking to yesterday, but I said I'm at a point where I'm ready to start hiring people or getting an intern or getting something, because this is bigger than me and I got to do it well. So, y'all, when we get to tapping into this purpose, when we start answering the questions that Angel gave us throughout this session today, when we give ourselves the space and the time to dream about exactly what it is you want to do and get clear on what you're going to offer to people, the help comes in. So, y'all, keep doing the work, because everything will come into alignment. Had to share that. Look, that's my little testimony.
That's good. And I think there is somebody in the room that will have, I know that there's somebody in the room that might not even be on the stage yet that will have the answer to what I'm about to say. So, Kanisha, on that note, right? I Last year, around the beginning of December, I remember praying like, Lord, there's a lot that you're asking, and I know it can be done, right? I believe there's a lot that you're asking of me to do in this next season, and I need the support, right? If you want me to do X, Y, Z, can you provide the resources in a person in this avenue? And he definitely, I think that week, sent me somebody that said, I want to help you and I want to serve you in your business in this way. How can I do that? Mind you, okay, mind you, we've been meeting consistently every week, and I have not delegated any tasks to them. Wah, wah, wah. I wish I could have played the sound. I'm in full honesty, I have delegated nothing to them, right? Because I think I've gotten to a place where I know that I have, which is why I was doing what I was doing in business. I was not delegating. And now the CEO has to learn how to delegate when I'm used to doing the task and the things and handling the delegated tasks for my clients. Now I have to do that said thing. And I know that is hindering me. So this has nothing to do, well, it has a little bit to do with our what. But anybody, since we here, and we have all these experts in the room, anybody want to share? The first thing I need to do, because Kanisha, you mentioned it, and I just felt like I needed to share so that I could free myself. Okay, I just wanted to free myself on today in this moment, because things are shifting, things are happening in my life, and it's almost about to be the end of January, and I have yet to delegate anything to this person, and I need the help, and I'm going to see if, yeah, anybody got a solution?
Well, I'm literally going through a class right now, and she proposed a solution, and it's something that I started doing and fell off and stopped doing, and I need to get back to doing. And that was to record a video of you doing whatever the thing is that you want them to do. And they could be short videos. They don't have to be super long. So what I do is I'll zoom it, and then I'll put it over in YouTube and put it under unlisted, not private, but unlisted. take that link and create a Google document. And inside the Google document, I'll say, okay, you're helping me and your job is to create creative briefs. So this is the link or the video, kind of like a table of contents. This is the link or the video that's going to show you how to find posts that we can repost. Here's a video. So that way I'm not recording a 30-minute video. I'm recording these short, maybe 10, maybe 3-minute videos that I can say, okay, this is the video on how to find reposted content. This is the video on how to design the layout for the creative brief. This is the video on how to upload it to our scheduler. This is the video on how to, and I literally walk them through doing the different things. So I'm not going out of my way to record these videos. I'm recording the video because I'm already doing it anyway, like you said. So, so since I already get ready to sit down and do this, let me just pull up Zoom and hit record and record this part of it. And while I'm doing it, I'm talking, of course, so that way they can have an audio. But then I record a video and I say, okay, let me put that on there. And then I move on. And whenever I'm ready to do the next part, then I record the next video. Hopefully that'll help.
Monica, tell me why I do that. And I recommend it to clients when they're wanting to hire. So I've moved away from that. But when I was working with more clients who were looking to hire, that's what I recommended to them. Why do I not want to do it for myself?
They say
Huh?
the cobbler kids has no shoes.
Why? And I have the tools, right? We
Right.
have the tool. I can do it. And every time I'll go to do a task and I'm like, I should record this. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna just get it done and I'll figure out something else. That makes no sense. Huh? But either way, I digress. I digress.
I add
Yeah,
something.
go
But
ahead.
we having fun today. But what I'm gonna say is this, because I too am in the process of learning how to relinquish all of the responsibility. Something I'm going to do is write down a job description and lay out exactly what would be helpful to me, like what I would want somebody to do. And when somebody asks me for help, I'm going to go straight to that job description and say, oh, I would need help with this right here. And literally explain or lay out what needs to be done, the intervals that it needs to be done at, and even taking a job description. And if you want some, I have some. I've got a notebook of job descriptions from a really large organization in Texas that we refer to and did training at. But taking a job description and using the details, those bullets from that description, as a point of reference for the kind of help that I want inside of my business and what I'm building, and then creating a plan or a strategy to compensate people for that. So, and wanting to work with people who are building for themselves. Like, I don't want somebody helping me or working with me who's not building something for themselves. We all need to be working on something bigger. And in order for some people to elevate to their next place, they need to serve. And so we cannot steal from people the opportunity to grow and be refined for their next place because we won't allow them to serve us and serve well. So that just gave me a little bit of fire under me getting my stuff done, because I don't want to block somebody else from their next thing. So leaders have to rise up so other leaders can be prepared to be leaders for, the next generation. Yeah, I get it. I yield.
And part of that, you may have, once you start, what they say, when you pay attention. So if you started paying that person, whether it's you're editing their podcast stuff or you're doing like a one-on-one coaching situation with them, then you'll feel a little bit more pressed to be like, I done gave this girl 3 hours of free podcasting coaching and I ain't gave her no work to do. I need to get her some work. Because now you start feeling the pressure. I'm sitting over here I'm giving her $20 or whatever your number is, or whatever, however your arrangement may be set up. And I know she said she would volunteer, but doggone, I'm giving her something and I'm not utilizing her. I am taking her for granted. So maybe that'll give you the extra fire.
Mm, 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 mm. Y'all said some good stuff. I'm so glad this is on the replay because I'll definitely be playing it back and going through with my own notes. Until then, Hey, Devin. Welcome to the stage. Is there anything you would like to share?
So, if you're struggling with assigning responsibilities or tasks, things to do to others, a job description would be the first strategy. The second strategy would be to actually write down what are the things you want them to do. What's your expectation? A lot of times we want to bring people on and we're unsure if we could fully trust them with our babies, your ideas, your businesses, your thoughts. You're unsure sometimes. And it's also just easier for you to go ahead and do it as the business owner, as the expert. But like Kanitra said, you should want to empower and educate and give the experience to someone else. So if you struggle with the job description, think about the expectation. What do I want? If I'm spending my time, I can't get that back. If I'm spending my money, what am I doing with it? I want to make sure what I invest in has a return. And so those are the things that you should consider, or I'm encouraging you to consider. Educate, empower, and provide the experience. Because the seeds that you sow or the seeds that you plant will be the seeds that you sow. So giving the opportunity for growth is what needs to happen.
Mm-mm-mm. Giving the opportunity for growth. I didn't even think about it that way. I didn't even thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. I'm so glad this is on the replay. Family, if you missed it live, I'm sorry, but you can catch the replay. Be sure as we close it on out because I think I could talk about and keep going on this topic for a long time because I know we all need it, especially when we're talking about business. Because again, this is the Millennial Business Talk series for the month of January. You are in the Behold Hidden Bridges house. Yeah, house and clubhouse. Again, if you missed the replay or if you missed any of the amazing sessions that have taken place this week, please be sure to catch the replay, or you can join us next week. Monday, we have the Hospitality Suite with Coach K, Kenitra Moselle. And then on Tuesday, we're talking about all things marketing with the solutionist. Our go-to solutionist, Monica Michelle, on Tuesdays at 11. All right. Again, this is Angel Prince Hunter, I guess, now the podcast whisperer. You are in the room, and we're talking about how purpose talks. Ladies, y'all have been phenomenal. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Julius, shout out to you. Thank you for holding it down for the men folk on today. Again, we're talking about Purpose Talks, and we're going to wrap this up this week. Today, we talked about our what. What are the topics that interest you? What are the problems that you solve for your clients? What sets you apart from others in your industry? And what do you want to be known for? And the main thing is how will we share more of our what with others? Not how will we share more of our clients' what, but our what. How will we show up for ourselves and our business this year so that our businesses can gain more visibility, so that we can reach who we said we were going to reach, right? Those who are looking for us. And if you miss some of the strategy that the solution is shared, be sure again to catch the replay. All right. Next week, we'll be talking about the why, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. If there be no other comments, be sure to check out our website, thecollective706.com, where you'll see all of the amazing rooms and topics that'll be coming up for the rest of the month of January. You don't want to miss it. Make sure that you click the little greenhouse next to Behold Hidden Bridges and follow us to make sure that you're in the room. And who knows, you may be hosting a room if you have something to share and you are all about growing as we bridge the gap between our voice and our audience. You don't want to miss any of the content that's coming out. And We want to hear from you. So if you would like to be a part, please make sure you're following Kenitra Moselle and the solutionist Monica Michelle. It's so interesting how we got these Michelles and these Moselles in here. Anyway, make sure you're following them on social media. Reach out to them. Let them know who you are and what you do and why you do what you do. And who knows, we might be listening to you soon. All right. If there be no other things, I'm going to close out this room in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Peace, y'all.